I have to imagine that some of you watching this has a son or daughter who doesn't really have a sense of urgency, or they don't seem to mind if they're late, and they just don't have a great sense of time. Maybe they think that a task is going to take much longer than it should, or they might think it might take less time than it should, like a school project. Maybe they wait for the last minute for things. Well, here's why that is. People with ADHD experience time differently. There's a term for this called time blindness. I don't really like that term because I don't really think it describes what happens with kids. What really it is that they're just experiencing time differently. But the good news is we can teach them how to sense the passage of time. The strategies that you've probably learned from maybe an ADHD coach or in an executive function book or from a therapist, because this is the kind of thing that are in therapy treatment planners. Those strategies, such as using a kitchen timer or the red countdown timer or a timer on a mobile phone or even digital clock, none of those things help you learn how to sense the passage of time. And here's why. The way we learn to sense the passage of time is through unit volume. Here's the example I always give. Think about maybe when you were in high school and you were in a class and you were really bored and you were staring up at the analog clock on the wall, waiting for the period to end, and you were just watching the big hand move very slowly. That's actually how you learn to experience time. That is seeing time in unit volume. So what we have to do is we have to teach kids what time looks like in unit volume. You cannot teach kids what time looks like in unit volume through a digital clock or a clock on the phone or a timer. The other thing with timers and that red countdown timer is when they stop, they stop. So what it's not showing you is how much time has passed. So for instance, if they were supposed to get off their video game at 8 o'clock and it's 8:10, well, if the timer stopped, there's no way for them to see that they've now passed 10 minutes and they've cut into their time for tomorrow. That's actually a strategy I teach parents in webinar 3 of Executive Function Crash Course, which is called Learning to Feel Time and Get Off Video Games Without a Fight. So if you want to help your son or daughter learn how to experience time, there's definitely strategies that you can put in place that will work for them, but it's not going to be the outdated strategies that you've probably heard a million times already. If you want to help your son or daughter learn to sense the passage of time, you can do that in webinar 3 of Executive Function Crash Course, which is part of the ADHD Dude membership site, and you can learn more about it at ADHDdudecourses.com. In the meantime, throw out those timers, throw out the red countdown timer. They're never going to help your son or daughter learn how to experience time. All right, take care.